right, we got some good news, bad news kind of deal here. So the good news is that, or well, the bad news, I guess, is that the league season is officially over. Um, my game with Mel, Major Pain, it just went in as a draw since we weren't at a finish point and not a significant lead either way. I was okay with it because a draw gave me just enough points to make sure that I held on to first place. So that does mean we get to move up 2 ranks in the league this season. Um, of course, that means could mean that our game is over. The good news is we have decided to continue that game because it is a good game, and I'm glad that I'm recording it because I think it's a good quality game. So just real quick before I jump into that game, here is season 12. You can see we are now in the Colonel's division. My goal, like I said, I couldn't do it last turn. There wasn't, you know, you can't jump 3. You can jump two divisions, which is what I did by getting first place. So now my goal is to get top 2 in the Colonels, and top 2 should get me into the Generals for a turn, and that's when it's going to get really interesting. Well, actually, it's going to get really interesting starting this turn. I mean, if you look at the players that I'm playing this round, every single one of these players, including myself, I guess I should include myself, every single one of these players, other than River Ron, has had a top 10 finish in Platinum at some point. Now, several of these, and Ron probably could, he just has, he's not a heavy ranked player uh, outside of his early season, and even he had a top 25 finish. So um, a lot of us, like myself, don't play ranked so much anymore, so you don't see the names necessarily as much if you're just a ranked player. But nonetheless, these are all extremely high quality players, and it's gonna be very tough this season. I'm not gonna lie, but our goal is just to get in the top 2 so that we can bump up and fight for the generals and see if I can get that Supreme Commander uh, category where this is over the seasons. Davinator won at once. Mats, who you can see is in my league this time, won at once. Regal Beagle, who's in my league this time, won at once. Um, Mac just won it for 2 seasons in a row. First time winning 2 seasons in a row. So congrats to him. Hopefully we can get up there and threaten it. A couple of these seasons, I played the first few seasons, and I think it was these couple seasons in here, these 2 seasons in here. I think season 3 was my last season I played. I played the first 3 seasons maybe. Um, but anyways, I finished like third both of these seasons or something like that behind Dav and Mats. So, in any case, back to the game. So, like I said, Major Penny and I decided we are going to go ahead and continue the game, so we are going to continue playing here. UK did 9 infantry, 2 artilleries, as our goal was. We did break up the Kaz stack at least for a turn. I was looking at, I looked at if I pushed everything in and used these guys to try to kill these guys. I it would mean taking my fighters out because I had to do like 1 and 1 and use my fighters and then land my fighters up here, and I don't really want to do that. But if I was able to push all of this and my tank blitz into here, it would be probably safe. It probably would be safe anyways because I just demonstrated the fact that Germany can move into West Russia real easily and still hold this. That I can probably move enough into West Russia that he'd be in deep trouble if he attacked here and lost all of this just to kill my stack. Um, that being said, because the timing's just off, it would have been great when West Russia was here if I could then move in here. The timing's just off. However, we're going to keep an eye on it. If he does come back to Gaza, then we'll do again with 17 plus 2 plus 7 plus 3. So that's 29 units going into Karelia next turn, potentially. We'll be able to throw guys down in West Russia again. We'll just repeat and rinse. And the next time, we should have enough to push into Kaz the stack. So we'll just repeat and rinse the process we just did if we need to. Um, he may just stay in here to prevent me from stacking West Russia again. I don't even know if that would happen. I potentially could stack West Russia regardless. It would be great to be able to, if we get to the point where we can have an understacked German and West Russia, but also have a equal or slightly understacked Japan and Kaza, then that spells trouble for Moscow, especially since we're holding this block up pretty good. So we're just gonna keep building our offensive build. I just built all the infantry I could, and then took back, built as many tanks as I could, and then dropped back and built artillery. I could max more artillery in here, but I mean we got a pretty good ratio of artillery going with it, so I don't necessarily think we need to do that. Um, I could build some more planes and fly them over, but as you can see, I mean this has been a successful operation of pinning him up. Now maybe he's gonna come. I got a feeling he might come down to C zone 10 with the U.S. this turn. Um, because he's got a lot of protection going on up here now. And coming back to C Zone 10 puts more pressure that for me to actually stack um, Northwest Europe if he does that. Um, I'm actually going to pause. I want to look at this just a tiny bit closer here real quick. So yeah, the more I look at this board, I do think he's going to easily be able to protect C Zone 10 from a two bomber, one bomber. I mean, he can move 3 destroyers and a loaded carrier down here. And because we're not stacking Kaza, he'll be able to fly his 2 fighters over here. And even if we didn't, I mean, even if we did stack Kaza and he kept them over here, I imagine he can still do it all um, this round. Which unfortunately it messes my timing up just a little bit of things I want to do, but um, I don't think we can really easily dead zone um, C zone 10. I mean, we could fly one more, one, two, three, one more bomber over here, right? Um, but I think he's going to get a pretty good, easily to defend 3 and 10. I mean, I could take a cheesy strike at his C zone 8 here if I wanted to. Um, but yeah, I think he's going to get 10 and 3 stacked. So the problem with that is that means also on US's turn, if I keep my Japan bombers here, then I'm saying I am going to have to stack Germany on 10. And if he's got all 9 transports and 4 transports showing down at me, I'm going to need all 24 guys going here, which means I would need more guys. I'm going to need my tanks still sitting here because we'll still have 8 guys we gotta, or 9, excuse me, transports we gotta defend against. And here, um, so we won't be able to make quite the massive move to Karelia as I was just discussing, but hopefully we'll still be able to push the majority of this stack over. We should be able to. But that means we're gonna pull the bombers out of here this turn, I think. They've done a good job. I mean, they've done the slowing, which is unfortunate because I was hoping, come here this turn. If he's still stuck up there, then we come here, and then we've got an easy prey here, right? Um, but instead, he's going to be here. I'm going to come here. He'll be here. So if I come here, he'll be able to come down and whatnot. I'm hoping I'm still going to be able to stack Northwest Europe, and maybe next turn when I go to move here, I'll pull this bomber on over as well. Maybe he's going to have his own. We're going to have a fighter floating with him. Maybe I won't have the fighter. Yeah, no, I think I will have that. Maybe I won't. Maybe I will. Maybe I won't. So this fighter does have that bomber. I don't know that I want to trust destroyer carrier by itself. So yeah, I think we're going to keep the fighter back on 61 actually, the more I think about it. which is fine. Yeah, we're gonna keep the fighter back there with him for right now because we're gonna have 4 transports there. So with that 1 bomber there, we do want to keep that there. But anyways, all of that to be said, unfortunately, we're gonna have to take our pressure off of Ting because I just foresee U.S. is going there. But we did our job. I mean, this worked out really well. It got rid of, it discarded any sort of med fleet. It really messed up his logistics for a while. Um, so I'm not upset about it at all. Now he's got these 4 transports coming back. He's got 9 guys here, so he can send off 4 of these here. So I'm only going to send the 1. I'm going to see if he'll get into a trade battle with me, and we'll push the rest kind of going forward. And we'll do our Africa exploration number 2. We need to go ahead and send those guys. These guys, what do we want to do? I think we are going to go ahead and bomb. I mean, we've done a lot of good. I'm happy with the two fighters hitting those guys. Let's start cranking up the heat on Russia, I think. That's the plan. Whew, all right. Big numbers, big numbers, big numbers. Yeah, okay. And the good news is well, I guess since he took it to the UK, he could build troops there. So never mind. No good news there. I'm assuming that sub's going to submerge. I forgot Kaza. Oh my goodness. Oh, I forgot to attack Kaza. Oh, good gracious. This is what happens when I get talking too much. How did I forget Kaza? That's going to give him an easier stack. Shish. Ah. Those are for my cruiser. Can't believe I forgot Casa. I mean, it's not a huge deal, but I can't believe I forgot Casa. uh, what were you thinking, Chris? All right. Now the interesting thing is that I don't really need my cruiser up here, right? Because he doesn't have any air. I could bring him back. I think I'm going to bring him down here. Why do I bring him down here? Because one, he continues to threaten C-Zone 56 with the bomber 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So again, we're just preventing U.S. from being able to drop easily a fleet on the West Coast. I can still come back and bombard Alaska, but I can also come back to C-Zone 61 if I need to. Whereas from 64, I can't get back to 61. So if I decide later I want that extra protection and we're not hitting Alaska, we can do that. There we go. Again, we are going to start falling behind in attack power. Um, so I really need to make my move on Moscow here pretty soon. So, he's going to be able to build and it's going to be pretty even. The only good news is he's a long ways away from Berlin still at this point. Um, However, it's going to be much shorter once he gets all these transports threatening a drop onto France. So he'll be threatening a France stack, as well as happen to put more units into Northwest Europe if I'm going to keep that going. So it's going to, they're getting ready to turn the corner a little bit here. So that's going to be a little unfortunate. Um, but I feel like we should be able to put the screws to Moscow pretty soon here. So we're closer to our end goal than they are, even though we're losing the income game still, and they are going to start um, making a little bit of a move.